You have to know your strategy. Will you take small steps or make a huge jumps? What to do if there is no visible progress? Should you quit? My name is Kirill, and today we are going to talk about complex goals in the long run and short goals in the short term. To begin with, there is no universal strategy. For each goal there is a different way to achieve it. As always, I will start from a story that taught me a lot. So let's go back in time when I was 20 years old. At that time I was fond of planning my future. I was always thinking about where I will be in 20, 40, 60 years. And I believe this is an amazing way to increase your boost of energy. I decided to move away from my parents and apply for a mastership program. And to do this, I divided my way on many simple tasks. Let's start with the fact that that time I didn't know English at all, like literally zero. And my university program was fully on English. So I started to create a plan. Obviously, I needed to develop a strategy how to learn a foreign English, and I needed to do this in a shorter period of time. At the same time, I understood, once I'll leave my parents, I'll be the only person who is responsible for my well-being. Sounds tough, right? I split the process of learning English into many small steps, and together they created something like a ladder, something like a staircase. It allowed me to reach the desired result. I solved the issue with money in a slightly different way. Basically what I did is I chose several areas that I wanted to develop in the future, and I started to study them, so to be able to make a leap when I move. Looking back, I can say that eventually I learned English, as you might see, but I didn't find myself in any of those areas that I was preparing to at the time. As I said before, each case had its own strategies for achieving goal. Then the method of breaking the process into many small steps worked me the most. In a different situation the result may be another, but it's always worth to try the variety of approaches. Long story short, I created a system of learning English where I saw my result on a daily basis. I stuck to the original plan because each my step, each my movement ahead was quite easy to notice, and it helped me to stay motivated. When you go to your goal in small but consistent steps, your movement seems to be smoother. You don't have this unpleasant feeling that you're losing your time. And yes, that's true. In the very beginning, when you learn a lot of new stuff, you feel the speed better. Now a couple of words about the big leap. I believe that here you need to stay more concentrated, more disciplined, and have the ability to play a long turn. If you set yourself difficult goals, most likely sometimes you'll feel that you don't feel the ground under your feet. Sometimes you'll find yourself in a certain state feeling that you're only moving with the flow. But that's not true. Always remember where you will land and plan ahead for your next leap. But the beauty of big jumps is that they give you a huge boost of energy when you look back and understand how much growth did you make. For example, when I increased my income tenfold just in a couple of months because of the right environment, right people around me, I was very proud of myself. It was a serious achievement and a really big leap for me. I extended my horizons and started to plan even several years ahead. And now I want to talk about pros and cons of both strategies, as well as pay your attention to their similarities and differences. The first thing is the attention to details. Making many small steps, you act like a sculptor, carefully knocking the sculpture out of the block. And making a large leap forward, you put a dynamite in the mind. In any case, you work with stone, but you are accurate in a different extent, so only you decide what to choose. I noticed one pattern. If you are already good enough in what you want to do, you can plan with the major achievements. If you feel that you still don't have enough experience and have to learn a lot, don't overtake yourself, act gradually. In both cases you'll go through a unique path that will teach you a lot. You'll also grow internally and understand your desires better. Also, the more carefully and gradually you'll go to your goal, the more attention you'll put to the details. For example, if we take the same task, the level of elaboration, if it consists of many chains, will be higher comparing to one big leap. But is it bad? No, I don't think so, because sometimes the extra attention to details is just not necessary. Yes, they can teach you a lot, but if you know what you are doing and the result for you is much more important than the process, maybe the dynamite will be the best option for you. Any task can be solved in both the first and the second way, but choose it wisely depending on your capabilities. Second, the complexity of achievements and the planning horizon. Even if you are professional in your field, sometimes it's better not to rush in order to reach the desired result. It's a common mistake thinking that if you set one serious big goal, you'll cope with it faster than breaking it into small pieces. Sometimes you can simply not notice the cause of the ongoing difficulties if you look at them from the afar. A lot can be said about planning horizon, and I believe it's worth looking in the long term. It doesn't matter how you plan your steps if you don't expect them to bring you where you want to be. Just be bold enough to set high goals. In my experience, almost always such goals are achieved consistently and are very time-consuming. And the way of achieving them depends on how much experience I have in one direction or another. I believe that it's always worth planning in advance, and the combination of these both approaches sometimes it can be the best solution. Next time, try to set yourself a serious goal, the achievement of which will bring you to the parabolic growth. And now break it down into many parts. Use both approaches at the same time. This will help you not to get confused and experience the advantages of both approaches. You will know in detail what you are doing and reach a significantly new level. Third, how easy is not to go astray. I think this is one of the most common problems. You basically start doing something, but over the time your motivation and enthusiasm they disappear. I myself run into this problem from time to time, and in my case it happens because of false expectations. Starting a new path, we often draw a lot of beautiful pictures inside our heads, but usually they don't match the reality. Of course, it's important to expect some serious changes, otherwise why to invest in this at all? But try to be realistic in building such expectations. They keep you in the game or make you leave. It's always easier to keep doing what you do if you back yourself with small but still tangible result. It's like trying to eat a huge steak, putting it in your mouth at once, or splitting it into pieces. And if you try to take on too much at the same time, you can simply lose your balance and fall in the exhaustion. At the same time, the bodybuilder doesn't press the empty barrel for 300 times. He loads it with additional weight and does several quality reps. For him, this kind of load, it's okay, it's normal, even if it's not for other people. Therefore, rely on your experience and capabilities, so you will be able to take the max. Today's video turned to be short, but I tried to share with you my observations and keep you away from making all the annoying mistakes. As for me, I usually break the task into small pieces to make it less complex, but I always see the final result before it actually occurs. I take advantages of both approaches. This is my dominant strategy that helps me to move forward without making any stops. Guys, thank you so much for watching my videos, I appreciate you, you know that. If you like this video, give me your like, if you don't, give me your dislike, follow my channel and see you tomorrow guys, thank you one more time.